ask the question, when will a workers' compensation insurance company offer me a settlement? Bottom line is this: insurance companies want to settle your case. The reason they want to settle your case is because when a case is opened, what they have to do is they have to put what's called reserves on your case. And what that means is they have to put a bucket of money on your case, specifically earmarked and designated for your case, and they can't touch that money until that money is either spent on your case or your case is closed, at which time they can move it away. So insurance companies are always looking to settle your case. The question is when? When are they going to try to settle your case? And generally speaking, we find that there are a few times in most cases when insurance companies are going to really be aggressive in trying to settle your case. As an initial matter, they're always going to try to settle your case before you have an attorney. Because generally speaking, your case is going to be worth significantly more if you do have an attorney involved in your case versus if you're trying to handle it yourself. Because there's additional benefits that you don't know that you're entitled to that we would. There's mistakes that the adjusters may make with regard to provision of benefits or payment of benefits that if we disclose the fact that they have been incorrect, then they have to pay attorney's fees, which adds to the value of your case. So as a general rule, insurance companies are going to want to settle the case very early on. Your case is going to get more valuable when certain things happen. The longer your case is open, and insurance companies know this, the more valuable it's going to be. If you have an attorney, the more valuable it's going to be. If there's recommendations for treatment, surgery, lost time, things like that, those all increase the value of your case. So the longer your case is open, the more chance there is for these things to happen on your case, and the insurance companies know that. So they're going to try to get your case settled as quickly as possible. There are other times that insurance companies are going to try to settle your case. They're going to want to settle your case if there's any significant recommendations on your case. In other words, if a doctor recommends surgery, they're going to reach out to you and try to settle your case so that they don't have to authorize that surgery. Many times what will happen is insurance companies will specifically deny the request from the doctors that they have selected for the sole purpose of trying to get your case settled. That's a typical thing that we see, basically denying the case or denying the requested benefit and trying to settle it for less than the value of the benefit that they would have to pay if they kept it open or if they provided the recommendation for treatment. Another time that insurance companies are going to want to settle your case are after everything is provided. Many times what happens is you have injured workers who have been out of work for a prolonged period of time, and the employer has moved on from those individuals. In other words, they don't necessarily have that person's position available anymore, so they put pressure on the insurance company to close it out, get it settled, so that they can also negotiate a resignation, a voluntary resignation, so that the person doesn't go back to work for the employer. So I would say this, as far as when will workers' comp offer a settlement, expect them to offer it early because they want to get your cases closed. And that's the bottom line. Expect it before they have to write any large checks for any significant medical treatment, surgeries, things like that. Expect it at the end of the claim after everything's been provided so that they can prevent you from having to go back to work for the specific employer because the employer is likely putting pressure on them to get that case closed and have you move on.